This is my video 78, and I'm going to start with my fifth poem, the longest one. I hope I can read it from the beginning to the end during this video, because reading aloud so much text, which is in the form of rhymes, is really timey. Makes me tired, or puts a lot of tension on me. Let's go. About Snow White. Young Snow White just turned up 15. She was much prettier than the Queen. The Mirror sponsored the contest. I guess we all know what was next. The woodsman was bribed by the Queen to take her husband's only hair, go to the woods and find a tree, tell her to eat, and leave her there. The Mirror said the Queen remained, the woman with the prettiest face, but time passed by, and her glass claimed, again young Snow White led the race. The Queen sent for her man at once, but he was nowhere to be found. They said that earlier this month he disappeared without a sound. I see, he didn't tie Snow White, but told a lie right to my face. He ran away with all his might just to avoid my royal wrath. The Queen concluded in her mind, but this won't save Snow White from death. First, the coordinates to find her temporary secret base, and then she packed her vengeance bag, a special apple soaked with hate, some old worn boots and dirty rags. Her carriage waited at the gate. It took her almost half a day to reach the margin of the woods. The Queen got off her royal sleigh. She wore her rags and old torn boots. You coachman, this is where you'll stay and wait for me. I'll go on foot. She took the staff, put on her hood, and headed right into the woods. She walked 2 hours, maybe 3, when finally, behind the trees, she saw the cottage of green bricks with its blue roof next to the birch. It's time to play my little tricks. The girl was sweeping off the porch. It's her, Snow White. This whitest skin, this hair as dark as raven's wings. Yes, I can even recognize that naughty girl with my closed eyes. So here she hides for all this time. This means that the woodsman told me lies. No wonder that he ran away. If I catch him, he'll dearly pay. Well, that's the burden of my fate. I should fix all things by myself. The Queen walked slowly to the gate, and then she rang the brass gate bell. I'm coming. Somewhere from within, the angel voice said, like the spring that murmured in the Alpen heights. The Queen kept calm with all her might. Just some old woman wants to drink. The girl ran out, her cheeks were pink. This fresh, cool air of the pine woods made her more beautiful. The mood of our bad queen dropped to the ground. She couldn't even make a sound. Please go inside, the young girl said. She drew the bolt, opened the gate. The evil queen went through the door. The space was tidy, and the floor was stainless, and it shone so bright. Please use the sofa on your right. The girl came with a mug of water. You're very kind. Thank you, my daughter. She sat and drank there for some time, recalled the steps of her planned crime. Oh, thank you, dear. She stood up. Thank you, dear. And she stood up. Snow White approached and took the cup. Some moaning sound came from the corner. It's our old man. He's almost gone. The dwarves who live here took me in, 'cause I agreed to care for him. It won't be long, he's old and sick, the tears ran down her rosy cheeks. He won't create me any trouble. There won't be one death, but the double quick murders will be now committed, the queen thought. That's what I have needed to make my secret plan complete. Alright, I guess I should proceed. Thanks for the caring I receive. Take this ripe apple as my gift. The girl took it and then she went to wash it. Ah, but Queen was mad. Hey, don't be stupid. It is clean. You know, COVID and everything. She washed the apple, turned around. Some Jimmy O comes from the ground. I read it in this magazine. The bad queen's face turned grayish green. No chemicals, no pesticides. Okay, I guess I'll take a bite. She bit the apple and then froze. Her face was still, her eyebrows rose. And then she fell flat on her face, but somehow she made it with grace. No way, this stupid little girl just won her Oscar for her fall. The evil queen came close, she bent and took the apple out of her hand. She threw it to the fireplace. This evidence will leave no trace. Then she approached the corner where this sick old man lay in the bed. Now it's your turn to die at last. The next things happened very fast. The old man coughed and sneezed aloud. The shattered glass fell on the ground. Right through the windows and the door came several figures. You're those dwarves, the evil queen cried in surprise. You watched me all the time, but how? We faked we left, then took our spots right on the margin of the woods, said the commander of the squad. Now show your face, take off your hood. She raised her hands, the hood came down. How dare you order me around? Behold, there stands your precious queen, much closer than you've ever seen. Now kneel before me. Now kneel before your ruler's wife, if you all value your own lives. Wait just a sec. He felt offended. Just now we caught you, queen, red-handed, and soon you will be apprehended. Perhaps you shouldn't make a jest, because you are under arrest. Okay. If I'm arrested, on what charge? I think your wide mouth is too large. You broke the windows when you barged in here. The woman who came in to check that loud heartbreaking scream, which sounded loud around was me. I came him quickly just to see the old man lying on the bed and his granddaughter being dead. He's not my grandpa, as I said. I care for him while he's in bed, said Snow White, rising from the floor. The queen stood motionless in awe. A miracle, she came to life. Tell me about the afterlife. Please stop your act, Snow White just pled. This pain, the floor hit hard my head. Let's start from where we stopped before. You want more proofs? We have some more. You are accused of poisoning. You made me bite that poison thing. The apple, never heard of it. Besides, your story doesn't fit. I see no apple anywhere, don't try. You won't find it, I swear. I think your clue, so key and precious, is lost. It has been burned to ashes. They all looked at the fireplace. There's nothing there. Ah, what a waste, the queen exclaimed and clapped her hands. This lead is also a dead end. Don't rush your horses, dear queen. Snow White just bent towards the sink. Then she turned back, and in her palm there was an apple. Are you dumb? I burned the apple which you bit. I see how hard your head was hit. This is the apple. Now you're done. I switched it with the normal one. The normal one was fine to bite. That's how I managed to survive. We just performed an expertise and proved a main hypothesis that you put poison in this fruit to make me eat and die for good. That's not my apple. I've been framed. Or your excuses are too lame. Your testimony against mine. Guess who'll be trusted by the sire? How do you say this to Snow White? You're not Snow White. You're just a liar. Again, your testimony against mine. Guess who'll be trusted by the sire? How do you say this to the Snow White? You're not Snow White, you're just a liar. With this, the queen came to the girl and pulled off that black wig of hers. The long red hair fell to the shoulders. It had a tint of rich, dark golden. In her big eyes, the tears occurred. I'm sorry I failed you this time. The dwarves tried hard to comfort her. No need to worry, we don't mind. I hoped the queen will never find. We will be always on your side. Explain me just one moment, please. I guessed Snow White ceased to exist. The mirror didn't show her presence. Why did it point to this peasant? The woman pointed her finger at that sad girl. Her nail just lingered for some time, pointing at her face. Because I cracked your database, said the first sergeant on the right. I beg your pardon? That's all right. I am a hacker in this squad. I found your mirror access code. The talking glass of yours was able to store the data of this fable and keep it in the text-based table. You asked your question and request to this text database was made. Show me the beauties, said your pride. The topmost entry was Snow White. But after you said to your guy to take her to the woods and tie her to the tree and he succeeded, the topmost entry was deleted. That's why your following requests showed you the answer. You're the best. Your woodsman thought that he was safe, said the lieutenant on the left. He went too often to the inn and, being drunk, told all his sins, and there I overheard his bragging about Snow White, afraid and begging. We apprehended this old thug, the captain said. The queen just shrugged. And what? He led us to the spot. We found her pendant made of gold. We asked him gently what he knew, and he told us that it was you. Saw me again, the queen exclaimed. I'm growing tired of your game. Show some more patience, O my queen. The case becomes quite interesting. We showed the pendant to the king. At once he recognized the thing. He granted us his full support so that the guilty would be caught. Once I looked in your mirror's world. Again the hacker took the word. Then I inserted a new row that linked Snow White key to this girl. He pointed to the red imposter. My queen, do you understand this? Molotov. The woman said, just let me sum up. Oh, I begin to feel my stomach. So you suggest that I came here to kill your Snow White out of fear, that she's the prettiest one again? I think you are screwed up, my man. I said I strolled along the stream. I came here just to check the scream. Your poisoned apple and your pendant and your drunk woodsman doesn't matter. No one will trust you. I'm the queen. They'll take my word. So will the king. No, I will not, the sick man said, and raised up slowly from the bed. My dear husband, you are here. I was all ears. I was all eyes, I was all ears. The captain dwarf stepped up ahead. Did I forget to mention this? Forgive me, please. He bowed his head. The king was granted his caprice. I wish to see it with my eyes, I wish to hear it with my ears, that you have done what you have done to my Snow White, about whom you shed your tears. My king, it's not what it is look. My king, it's not what it's look. Quiet. How dare you interrupt your sire? Now listen to my final verdict. You're not a queen. You are the convict. You dwarves, fulfill my royal order to get revenge for my head murder. They transport this woman to the jail and be attentive to detail. Cut off her nose and her eyelids, tie up her tightly to her throne, put lots of mirrors round the seat, and leave her in the room alone. So when the king came to his castle, he didn't even move a muscle. While reading on the queen report prepared by the dwarven squad, we did exactly as you told. The queen was put on a blindfold. We set the mirrors in the sides, took off the band, and left the side. The queen produced a high-pitched scream, which will haunt us in our dreams. After a minute of this cry, the queen grew silent because she died. The queen died of a heart attack. Without her beauty, she just lacked her sense of life, or had to say. In any case, she killed herself. The king read it, and then he smiled. Come here, now you are safe, my child. There came a girl of her 15, with pitch-black hair and snow-white skin. The real truth behind the scenes was better than the power rings. Right after talking to the queen, the woodsman confessed to the king. They called the special dwarven team. Together they devised this scheme to be the queen in her own game, act out the Oscar-winning play. Snow White, the woodsman both were put in the hideout deep in the woods. Meanwhile, the hacker hacked the base and Snow White's entry was erased. The queen believed the girl had died. The dwarves chose the construction site. Then they built all the decorations and handled other preparations. The database was hacked once more. The queen, left over from before. The king took that sick old man role, the evil queen majestic fall. It happened after the events, when the bad queen met her quick ends. The mirror with its database had just a console interface, but then the hacker wrote some code. A user could choose what he liked, a console on your GUI mode, a color scheme, green, red, or white. Then he reversed the program bytes, rewrote the code from SM to C, and used Snow White Maps API to show the places on the screen. He implemented the web form to look up everything with ease. The looking glass became the core of the Snow White search mechanism. I thank you all who read this text. This is the end. You are the best. So, end. I think I started at 36 minutes and now 54. It means that it took me 18 minutes to read aloud this stuff, though I have some problems with the rhymes in some particular spots, plus there are places where I'm not sure how I should pronounce trive tones as 2 syllables or as just one. And because I can't pronounce this correctly, if I think about it as a 1 syllable, I fail to read what I write, but if I see this as 2 syllables, then it seemed that that didn't sound really that doesn't sound really natural, because like dear, when I pronounce dear, one word in as 2 syllables. This way I can pronounce anything as 2 syllables, although in reality it's just 1 syllable. And maybe I should do a little bit, reading aloud this stuff, even though this is my poem, it really takes lots of energy out of me. So I'll try to read some programming stuff a little bit, and I stopped with level 7 billiards triangle. So first I should go to this document, programming stuff, open code wars tasks, and reach this billiard stuff. Okay. So this is another thing, binary cals, maybe calculators, who knows. So what I defined operator, an enumeration operator with the cases add, subtract, and multiply. I have 2 functions. Which one is the main function? Let me guess very quick. So decimal from bits, and well, I didn't see where one function calls the other function, so it doesn't matter right now. Let's go through the text the way I read English, just for the sake of reading and at least understanding each word. Function decimal from bits with 1 parameter string of type type string. It returns integer, some integer. We have this chained operations, which are quite popular in the functional programming style. So array initializes the string of characters, the array of characters out of string. Then compact map. I'm not sure. I think compact map just ignores nil characters and creates and converts all other characters into what I say, like character into the string and then into double. Without just map, we can get the some new characters. Then we do the enumerated stuff over the array of doubles, and I think enumerated returns the array which consists the element of tuple index of this element inside the array plus the value of this element. Then I use reduce over this array of tuples. reduce 0 to parameters accumulator and next. It's not the shortest form of the reduce operator. So because I need this accumulator stuff, and next is the tuple that goes, which is the current element of the array. So we take the number, multiplies it by something which is 2 to the power of yes, some distance. Maybe the distance between the end of the string and the current position of this character. So to the power of this position till the end, multiplied by the character itself, and all the stuff accumulates starting with 0 into a, into the constant a, and in the end we return a. So this way oh yeah, as I can understand, str means the bit string, the string which consists of the zeros and ones, and we do all the stuff to convert the bits inside this string into some integer. And then we have bits from decimal. Okay, this is the function where I convert integer into the string of bits. It's easy because we have the while loop until decimal is not equal to 0. We divide decimal by, we get the remainder after the division of the decimal by 2 over 2. Yeah, and we just put this particular remainder, which is 0 or 1, into our bits output, and then we just leave the main, the whole part of the decimal, dividing it over 2 without the remainder. But here I have something like best practice, when I have the calculator which takes two strings, I think binary strings, and some operator, and we can use int built-in function, which is the constructor, built-in feature, which is the constructor of int type, integer type. When the constructor takes two arguments like the string and radix, we get the resulting value, which is the conversion that I made with my functions. Okay, next we do the same stuff with b, and then we call transform function from transform method from enum operator over these two int representations of binary strings of binary sequences. So this enumerator operator has three cases, but it has some variable which it's not really a variable, or maybe a variable of a type closure. It takes a pair tuple of ints and it returns ints, and inside we have this switch self case which returns one particular mathematical character. For each word representation, like add, plus, subtract, minus, multiply, asterisk, and really it's kind of interesting to see this form because, well, I understand it, but it's kind of advanced. I'm not sure that I would suggest this solution by myself, but it's really cool in any way. So it took me so long to check just one script. Let me check very quick how many scripts at all. Wow, I need to go through. Oh, doesn't matter. Doesn't want to check it. Well, there are quite a large number of them. So let's go. Counting in the Amazon. Count array something. The parameter of type int and the return value of type string. Okay, so what I created one particular string of code, line of code, array creates a DAG string repeating a DAG subword and -1/2 times. Then yeah, we have this joined method which concatenates all the DAG elements into one string, and we have some turn operator, two turn operators, if n is or even, and if n equals 0, then it's just the empty space, empty string. If n is even and but it's different from 0, then we say that we return a DAG. And finally, if n is not and finally, if n is odd, okay, we return just a none. And there is a best practice which do the same stuff in the beginning, like count n/2 plus array repeating nani counts n modulo 2. Wow, that's an interesting approach. It is really more concise, the second part, that what I produced this in the second part, though the text is quite simple and I can understand it quite well. Okay, so I was really tired with the reading of this poem. That's why it's not a very good idea to read it in general aloud, because it takes too much time, and basically really I don't have strength to check my programming scripts. So, and it will be right that I have about half an hour episode. The main goal for me is to create the rest of these episodes, even though they are half an hour, to reach the 100 number of episodes, because really it's not about practicing my talking or improving my vocabulary. I do this stuff when I do my chores at home. So it's just the routine that I want to finish to the end. And with that, my video 78 for today ends. The video ends. Okay.